Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the last show of the week. We are Signal Centre Talking Ball. It's the 27th of May. I'm Joe, joined by Steve and Jamie. Good morning, gents.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning,
Good morning.
guys. Morning.
How are we all doing?
Yeah, all good. All good.
Yeah,
We've
well,
made
thank
it
you.
to the end of another week.
Yeah,
We have survived.
that's been a
Jamie's
weird week,
banished
I
to the
think.
loft.
Yeah.
I have been kicked out
Promoted,
right to
that
the
is.
loft. Yeah, promoted to the loft. Yeah, I'm in a different setting today, so hopefully everything still works okay. We're looking good so far.
Excellent.
Yes. Okay, let's get stuck into latest headlines then, and we can get into some charts. So, yesterday we had the US first quarter GDP number out, and the contraction was confirmed as we expected. The estimate was revised down to an annualized rate of minus 1.5% from the estimates of minus 1.5. So it actually came in worse than expected, even though there was an upward revision to consumer spending. We also had US jobless claims that declined to 210,000 in the latest week from 218 in the previous, which was also slightly below the consensus forecast. The US yields remained around 2.75% as they were the previous session. That's close to a 6-week low, with hopes that inflation will be brought under control and that expectations will be contained. We also saw a rally on Wall Street with equities seeing a relief move to the upside. Nasdaq was up 2.7% on the day. Stevie boy, well done there on your gun to the head trade. The dollar dipped to a fresh 1-month low, which we'll come into in the charts in a moment, retreating to just below 101.5. And as expected, the UK fiscal support package was announced yesterday, a total package of £15 billion to provide support to ease the cost of living crisis and surge in energy costs. So that is that on the news, fairly light. So let's get stuck into some charts. Steve, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, sure. I can't remember where I am now. I know, I'm at home just doing some charts. Right, let's it's been a bit of a funny week all round, I think. I started off the week feeling quite positive towards indices and had a little wobble during the middle of the week, and towards the end of the week felt quite positive and sort of played out that way. But Bitcoin's had a bit of a funny old week. Another negative one we're posting. Obviously, we've got a couple more days for this weekly chart to play out, but we're bang on this support line again, 28,800 to 29,000. I just can't help feeling that it's had an opportunity to rally off here, and it just hasn't got the energy. I don't know if there's going to be any sort of catalyst that we're going to see over the weekend. I know a lot of people are talking about Ripple, how that is going to be the miracle coin that saves the day because it's very linked with central bank digital currencies and the process that they want to use. So, but whether it does or not, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people heavily involved in it now. You can see the point of control on. Well, let's bring a bit more information into the chart. But yeah, it's pretty much down here. 21 cents is where I would think would be a good value area to buy it, and below there. Anything, if it goes below 11.5 cents, then there's definitely something wrong. Flip that to Bitcoin and you can see the point of control is a lot further down. In fact, you don't want to go back that far because that, but yeah, I think sort of like taking it to this 20,000 level, seeing where most of the volume has taken place, has been around this sort of like $8,000-9,000 level. So we are at extremes. And if we sort of drill down a little bit further, we can see that there is a vacuum that's been created between this 29,000 and 20,000. It didn't spend very much time there at all. You can see there's the sort of like three. What's this, a weekly? Can't even see it. Yeah, there's a 3 weeks it spent there, so not much volume at all there. So yeah, I think a serious break of this level and we are in trouble on the crypto world. Commodities, have a look at that now. Gold, that's been a funny one this week. I had a little venture into that on one of the gun to head trade ideas. That's had a nice little bounce off the 1787 level. That was last week. This week we've rallied further got up to 1870, but was smacked back down. So it's almost like a typical shooting star candle. That's what you'd see up here, very much similar to that. Starts off the week on a positive note, has a decent rally. Sellers come in and dominate the week's price action. I thought that might have a little bit of a move with the Fed minutes that we saw this week, but it doesn't seem to have. We're pretty much looking at higher rates, so this has had a negative impact on gold. The weak dollar has actually supported it the other way. So levels to watch on gold, just on a short-term time frame, is that 1870 level, 1865 to 70. I think I can move the resistance band up a little bit, and on the downside we'll have support around about this area here. There we go. That's the support. Below there, I think it opens up and move back down towards the 1787, 1800 level. Crude oil, again, this hasn't changed for me. I'm still bullish on this on the longer term. It's challenging, or it's exceeded the 17th of May highs, looking very promising. This supportive trend line we're seeing, higher lows, and again we saw them again there. Let's get another one of these and fire it up to here. So higher lows being posted yet again. So support for me down at 103, but interim support probably around about 107.50. Resistance 115.70 on the WTI crude oil. I think we are due a revisit to the highs at some point. The multi-year highs 126. Remember the all-time highs in oil posted way back in 2008, I think it was, at $150, so not far away at all. Some people talking about $200 oil potential. So that's it. I think that's me.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, let's take a look at FX then, starting off with the dollar index as usual, and we saw more moves to the downside yesterday, continuing this corrective move lower, and I think we actually saw a gap on the chart yesterday, so we don't often see that.
Often.
No, we gapped lower, only ever so slightly. I think we probably actually filled it now as well, but yeah, there is a small gap there. Let's take a look at the intraday charts to see if we can find it. Yeah, just there. There's a gap.
There's a gap. Mind the gap.
Mind the gap. So we saw a gap lower on the dollar index yesterday, only a small one, but still suggests that the pressure is set to remain on the downside for now. Looking for this 38.2% level to get tested at some stage, 99.09. That would be a fairly chunky correction, actually, but still, in the grand scheme of things, quite a healthy one, and likely to end in the resumption of the upward trend. So still bullish overall, but we are under pressure for now, that's for sure. And obviously that means we're getting a bit of relief in the euro against the US dollar. That continues to move to the upside, and that is now coming very close to a 38.2% fib level from this move here on the 10th of February down to those lows that we posted on the 13th of May. So that'd be an interesting test to see how it reacts in that sort of zone. And potentially we could see a bit of a pullback before a continuation higher over the short term. Similar situations with cable. We're trying to take out these swing highs here, or swing highs. They sort of references on the upside for us to look at around 126.34. If we can take that out, then maybe we'll see a continuation higher in the short term. As we can see, this dollar weakness is pretty severe. This is dollar Swiss. So when it got to the level of 1, so parity between dollar and the Swiss franc, we then saw a pretty huge sell-off actually, and it's not really showing any signs of slowing. So looking for a pullback towards this support level here at 94.72. And if we take a look at dollar yen, it's not really doing as poorly as the against the Swiss franc, but it looks as though it's forming a bit of a top here for me, and we could see a decent move lower on that one potentially. That's it on the FX side of things. Let's take a look at indices, and the only one that actually there was a bit of a move higher on DAX. So we've been talking about this downtrend for some time, but we actually saw a close above it yesterday for the first time in a while, a pretty chunky move. So I think if we can take out this previous high here from the 5th of May at 14,319, then potentially we could see a decent move to the upside. And we did see the losses capped at the 61.8% fib level. The other market that is of interest is Nasdaq. We talked about support at this 50% fib level. Steve mentioned it yesterday in his gun to the head trade. It's done a really good job of holding, and we saw a decent move higher yesterday. We're still trading in a bit of a downtrend channel, but if we can exit that, then we may see a decent correction on the upside on Nasdaq in the short term. I don't think it's going to be a full-scale reversal and back to the highs we go. But we could see, a decent move higher in the short term potentially.
Nice one.
That's that. Jamie, over to
There's
you on
actually
stocks.
can I just cover one point on the Nasdaq actually, Joe, when you're mentioning
Please do.
Yeah. I just sort of I looked. This looks quite nice with a few bubbles. Reminds me of going to watch West Ham. But what I saw was the pattern has repeated itself 3 times now. What you've seen a breakdown through support. You've seen, I'll make it a little bit larger. You see a support level holds, you get a rally. The support level holds again, you get a further rally. Make a new low, rally back to the previous point of resistance, and then we get the breakdown. And then you see it again. You see the rally up, down, rally back to resistance after making a further low, and then the breakdown. And are we going to see it again? We saw the sell-off, rally back to the point of resistance, made a new low, rally back. So I think we're rallying back to 12,000, just below 12,600, around about there, and then we'll have the further sell-off. So yeah, I still think there's potentially a little bit more on the upside on Nasdaq, but I think it feels like this could be a decent level, 12,600 to sell into. Keep the stop quite tight, because if it does break that level, then it could be a little bit of a bottom in place. But yeah, just wanted to sort of cover that off.
Nice, thanks, Steve. Okay, Jamie, you can talk us through some stocks. I know you're struggling a bit with your chart, so if you need me to step in, let me know, and I'll help you out.
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks, Joe. Yes, it's a little bit slow. Unlike the market, which seemed to move quite quickly yesterday, we've got these some really nice moves in a lot of the names we look at, but we will start off with our biggest winner and loser. Our biggest loser yesterday was this NTNX, Nutanix Inc., which was down 22%. I do have this story. I found it earlier. Company reported a third quarter loss that was far worse than expected and issued revenue guidance that was below Wall Street's average estimate. So yeah, that's why NTNX fell yesterday. It was bought into. You can see that the volume really was a large volume day. And it did close. That's quite a nice close considering the gap down, but still the gap down is a little bit of a worry in the short term. So we'll keep an eye on that. The biggest gainer though is this APYX. Will the chart load? It has. That's good. Which is actually in this quite a bad downtrend. It had this. I haven't read into what happened here, but you can see it gap down and sold off pretty hard into earnings back in March. But yesterday it gapped up and closed a lot higher. And the story for this Apex Medical is Apex Medical Corporation receives FDA clearance for the use of Renuvion cosmetic technology in dermal resurfacing procedures. I don't know what a lot of those things mean. I'm sure scientists and other people out there do. But yeah, a really nice move up, 51.89% for Apex. We'll jump into a couple of stocks. I think we'll try and stick to the ones on the screen so my computer doesn't explode. Alibaba had a really nice day yesterday. Excuse me. Up 14.79%. We noticed that we're in this kind of we've been in a long-term downtrend with Alibaba, but more recently we've been in a bit of a descending triangle pattern with the support here at this $80 level. But this was a really nice move yesterday. Obviously, we gapped up. It was an earnings play. We gapped up. We finished really strong as well, closing right at the top of the day's range, and taking out all these previous wicks from the previous week or two, which is really good to see from a bullish perspective on Alibaba. I think what I'd really like to see now, and now I'm going to try the drawing, so let's see how this goes. So I'd ideally, to get more bullish, see a bit of an extension higher, perhaps a retest of this resistance that we've had We're getting that. Here we go. Something like this. The clicking's not working so well. Third time lucky. There we go. Down to this kind of short-term resistance level, and then onwards and upwards. So we start posting a higher low in here. That would be the kind of situation I'd want to see for Alibaba to start seeing it in a more positive light. We have already had higher lows here from the lowest point we've had at 75, 74 down here. So that shows possibly a bit of a turnaround. I need to see a bit more before I can kind of get back and thinking this is going in the right direction. We looked at GME yesterday and it had another big day yesterday. Sorry, we looked at it yesterday and it had another big day yesterday. It did. That's all right. That sentence makes sense. Because we looked at it in the morning. But as you can see here, the volume picked up even more yesterday, actually getting to levels of almost 150, 149. At this level, we'd already kind of drawn out. It wicked off that and it did sell off towards the end of the day. But nevertheless, a good move. You know, the volume picked up. Let's break this down to a 4-hour chart, see really when that selling came in. So yeah, you can see here, like it was actually kind of early. It was at the open. It really had this buy up, and then it kind of a couple of inside bars to close. But still up 11.54%. We've got a long way to go before we get to our 199 level that we marked out. A good few percentage moves like yesterday will be needed to get there, but nevertheless, a good move coming into earnings as well. It looks like on the 1st of June, according to TradingView. So that's an interesting one to keep an eye on there. We'll jump in. I haven't looked at NEO. A nice little move for NEO, 9%. Potential double bottom forming here. It's early days, but if we see here, got this low. The clicking, I think my problem is I keep right clicking with my laptop, and I'm getting there. So we've kind of got these two lows here. If we kind of do see now a return to around this 23.50 level, that could potentially be a double bottom setup we have here on NEO. I'm liking this short-term price action from a bullish perspective. Although we posted a slightly lower low, it looks like this could be a higher low, which is obviously what you look for when you have this turnaround, when you want this turnaround from particular stocks. So an interesting one there. We'll look at two more. I reckon Tesla had a good day, regained this 50% fib, which was broken through. Needed to have a good week, as we discussed, and I think this is, I mean, you know, the previous week's price action was so bad on Tesla, but we do really need to keep this close above the 50% fib. And so far, it's doing that nicely. It would need to see a pretty decent sell-off today to close below it on the week. So things looking a little bit better on Tesla now. Look at this. What else can we see? MU Micron. We looked at this yesterday. Is it hitting target yet? Oh, it's close. It's really close. I think I might just call that one a win. How far are we off? Not too far. We wanted to see a little bit more buying today. That would be a nice 3.54 win if anyone did manage to get on that. There's not too much to report. Honestly, a pretty solid day all around. But as you said, Steve, with the Nasdaq, are we approaching that resistance level? Is there going to be a bit more of a further sell-off? I think that could well happen. Whether it's today, whether it's kind of towards the start of next week, we'll have to see. I'm hoping towards the start of next week so I can finish a couple of these short-term longs I had set up. That would be ideal, but we will call it a day there on the stocks. I usually like to go into the heat map and stuff, but I don't want my piece to explode, so I will leave it there today.
Cool, thank you, Jamie. Good stuff. Right, let's move on to the gun to the head trades. Each day we pick a trade idea live on the video, and we see how it gets on throughout the trading session. We open them around this time. We close them around 9 p.m. or when the stop or the target is hit. Each of the ideas must have a stop and a target, and they're all placed at market. If you want to check any of them out, you can do that on our TradingView profile just here. These are the three trades that we did yesterday. I will replay Steve's trade on Nasdaq. He was buying yesterday. Let's just have a nice little zoom in, shall we? And if we hit the play button, boom, Steve went on to hit target there on Nasdaq for a 3R win. So well done to you.
Let's go,
And
Steve.
could have had a bit of a higher target, I think, but you know.
Yeah, or a tighter stop even.
Picking holes. Jamie, you had a small win as well on Euro Sterling. Nice little setup there, as we can see, and that was nicely onside at 9 p.m. yesterday. Was it? Yeah. I mean, it was looking better at one stage, but that looks as though that support's holding again. So nice job on that. And I had a small loss on this. Getting sick of this. It's not playing out as I wanted
Leave
to.
it. Just let it go,
I'm
Joe.
just going to leave it alone. Yeah.
No,
So
try again. Keep
very
going.
close to the stop loss there. I think it was half an hour or so offside. So yeah, you feel free to check those out. Any new ideas that we publish will go straight onto here today as well. And also we're streaming live. So if anybody wants to check out any old videos that we've done, please feel free to do so. So 3 trades today, guys, to end the week. I'm going to go first because I've got the screen, and I'm going to sell the DAX.
Oh dear,
Now,
oh dear.
This is the hourly chart, and I've just scrolled back to the left, and now I'm thinking, do I want to sell this? Because I can just see a big inverse head and shoulders pattern here.
Do you want to have another little think about it, Joe?
No,
Sure?
I'm going to sell it. I'm going to go with it failing, but I'm going to draw this on anyway, just because it looks textbook, doesn't it? Yeah, nice head and shoulders there on DAX, but these big blue lines, it's struggling to overcome for me, and I like the looks of that candle there. So I'm going to try and fade it. I'm going to sell it at the current price of 14,274. I'm going to put a stop loss above that high there. And I'm going to, where's my target going to be? A long way down, I think. Let's have a look at the ATR just to see where that is today. There. Let's go with that. So my trade today is selling DAX, as I said, at 14,274, targeting a move down to 14,011 with a stop loss at 14,346.
James, do you want to check that price, the entry price?
I did say that, didn't I?
Honestly, I can't see it. It's too small on my screen.
14,250.
No, 14,274 it was at a minute ago. That's where I set it up.
Oh, right,
anyway,
okay.
It's 72 now, so take what you like.
I know. I see a different price, though, in the bottom, in your ticker.
Here?
Oh, you're looking at GER30. Is that the future?
Do you know what? Where is it trading at the minute on?
Yeah, and CFDs, it's trading about, well, it doesn't matter. It's 14,250.
Is it? Right, let's change the chart.
Yeah, see on your right-hand column.
Yeah,
GRXEUR.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the same. It'd be the same trade idea, same risk reward, but it's just that one I think you were doing was might be the future.
Right. Trading in the future, man.
Yeah, and try and make your little image like expire at 9 o'clock.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, come on, get with the program. I like it. The candle we're on at the moment looks like it could be like a bearish outside candle as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm loving it. See that, mate?
Love it.
Right, so let's get the new price up then. 14,251, targeting 13,874. Stop loss at 14,332. Looking for 4.48 R today. Get it.
Good stuff. Good luck.
Who's next?
You can go, Jamie.
Okay, I will go. Full disclosure on this one, I've looked at 5 charts because it's taken about 30 seconds for each one to load. And this is something I feel like I can do. It will probably either hit profit in the next 2 hours or stop out in the next 28 seconds. It's actually almost on its way there, but this is Aussie dollar against New Zealand dollar. We had this big sell-off the other day. I'm reluctant to change my chart hours because I think it could crash everything, but we've got a bit of a consolidation here. We're at the top end of this resistance which we had on the 1 hour time frame, and now we are selling, hoping for another sell-off towards the recent lows we've had. So this is a really tight stop. As I said, not something I particularly necessarily recommend doing, but I think to get the risk reward I want, It would invalidate the trade idea if we do start moving above this, so I can keep it tight. I also don't have much choice because nothing seems to be working. I can't even change anything, so I'm just going to have to stick with what we got. So we are going to sell Aussie dollar against New Zealand dollar. Oh, it was at this level when I first saw it, but we're going at selling 1.0963. So I will adjust this. Oh, look, it's disappeared now. Taking profit at 1.0944, and the stop loss at, it was at something. Here we go. I can see it again. 1.0970. This gives us, I'm going to say, about a 3.4 risk reward, give or take. I will be posting this in the next half an hour where we'll have all the details much clearer. But for now, yeah, we're going to look to sell Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar today.
Thanks, Jamie. Good luck.
Thank you.
I'm going to take a look at the energy sector. Natural gas has just sort of stalled at the 61.8% fib. This is a weekly chart, and it's you can see that we talked about this double bottom formation, and we can see that it's sort of like broken above decent resistance, and also looking pretty tasty on the daily chart. However, we've seen this lovely little shooting star candle right at the top, and another one yesterday, so 2 on the spin, tells me we might be running out of steam. So we go down to the 4-hour chart, we can see the same sort of price action. We've almost got a what do you use for the down arrows? Here and here. That leaves us with a double top formation on the break of this point in between. So double top has been triggered and confirmed. That's why I'm going to the hourly chart. I'm going to put a nice little risk reward trade idea on here where we can get short here, get a stop, close it out at 9 o'clock, and my stop can be pretty tight. Let's do this. Was it a 20-cent stop or something like that? And the target can be, I'm going for it 4-to-1 risk reward. I'm going to target a move back down to the $8 level. So getting short at $8.80. The stop is at we'll target $8, and the stop is at $9. That makes it very clear now. So that's my trade idea of the day: selling natural gas, 880, targeting $8, stop at $9. 4-to-1 risk reward. How'd you like those apples?
Lovely. So there's your 3 trade ideas, everyone, to end the week. If you want to check them out, please look at the TradingView profile, but also do bear in mind that this is pretty speculative stuff. We are making it up as we go along. If you want some real analysis and some proper thought in what's going into these trade ideas, then you need to check out our ideas that are available on various broking platforms. Okay, so let's move on to the data that's due out today. Not an awful lot. In fact, only one bit of information that's considered high impact, which is the US PCE prices index. That's due out 1:30 UK time. Throughout next week, we've got some other data points to keep an eye out for, most notably central bank action from Canada, as well as the US ISM manufacturing and the non-farm payrolls next Friday. Anything else to add, gents, before we wrap this up?
No, have a lovely weekend.
No,
Be careful out there.
Enjoy the weekend.
Drop a like, ring the bell, whatever
Drop a
it is.
like.
Nice, Steve. There
Send
we go.
a question. Right.
Follow.
Follow. Right. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. And thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll see you on Monday.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.